I tell Daniel Lewa every single day, Daniel Lewa, can we please get Doom-inspired Lego sets? Please?
Yeah, I've been tied to an electric chair, and Matt is telling me we have to talk about what this would even entail. This is going to be an interesting chat.
So you never played Doom, huh? That's a shame. That's a pity. Well, it was one of the first-person shooters ever. I just have a couple arguments I'd like to provide to you real briefly about why we need Doom Lego sets. Okay, is that okay with you?
All right, what are they?
Number one, it would be awesome.
That's the video.
With our Lego journey since we were kids, it's all about the power fantasy, right? We like mechs, we like bionicles with superpowers, we like agents, we like power miners. It's imaginative and it's fun. And I feel a similar way when playing Doom, right? You are literally the power fantasy. So that in itself reminds me of Lego.
Okay, I don't disagree with that point. Like, when just looking at the Doomslayer himself, like, that is a very cool design. It's very iconic. I recognize it. All of the armor, that would be super cool to have in Lego. Like, I'm on board with you up until this point. Like, yes, the epicness aspect, the coolness of the Doom Slayer in Lego. Yeah, okay, I'm on board.
Right.
What
Like,
else do you have?
you can imagine him as a minifigure with a custom helmet, mold, and armor. We see the customs of it all the time, but Lego a lot of the time does a better job of making it look clean and polished. With that, it's iconic, being one of the first-person shooters. Anyway, it could be from Doom 1 up until Doom the Dark Ages, Doom Eternal, any of them. Any minifigure like that. Second argument I want to provide to you just really briefly. Doom does a lot of things better than current Lego themes do. You look at the Atlan mech in Doom the Dark Ages, you look at the new dragon in Doom the Dark Ages, and I'm thinking Ninjago, like, these look like actual cool mechs and cool dragons, not like Round 2 the Master Dragon. It even looks like cooler than the Source Dragon Emotion. I hate to say it, but having a cyborg dragon like that would be so cool in Lego form.
Yeah, okay. This is a very cool dragon design. Like, at first glance, there's nothing here that's screaming, "Oh, I couldn't see Lego doing this." It's also giving me kind of like Bio Lizard from Sonic vibes. Maybe that's too much of a departure for Doom, but I think the wings especially very cool aesthetic because you have like this very medieval dragon with digi wings. How many times have we seen Lego do something very similar with digifying Castle with Nexonites, with taking gaming into Ninjago and Dream? So, I'm still on board. I still think, okay, this is cool. It could be done.
I always wanted Doom, even before the Dark Ages, but now that Doom the Dark Ages has come out, it's giving you very clear things that mech and dragon are such a big part of the game. That's like, okay, there's some clear buildable things here. But let's just talk about what you really want to talk about. I know you're going to say, this is too adult, too gory, too mature for Lego, which is primarily a kid's toy. And that would be my third argument. Is it really too adult? Do you really, you can pretty easily make a Doom Lego set without any gore. You don't even have to include a gun at this point. Just do the dragon with the minifigure.
Yeah, and this leads into a whole big other topic where everybody has their own personal sliding scale of what they are okay with as far as violence and gore goes. And it's completely variable from person to person. Like, I don't want to play Doom. I'm a good over here in the Legend of Zelda realm where it's very blood free, and that's totally fun and fine for me. Methuselah loves Doom and is able to tolerate that gore and violence that I just do not think is fun or appealing in the least. What I think it really comes down to, though, is brand protection. Anything that Lego puts out there that has their brand on there, that is going to have so much scrutiny and be associated with everything else that they do. We've seen it with all the other things like Stranger Things. When that came to Lego, that was a bit of a controversy of like, well, Stranger Things is pretty dark and violent. And so now it's always used like, well, they've done dark and violent things before, like Stranger Things. So like anything that they do to push that needle further, it opens them up to even more criticism. It opens them up to more questioning from people who want more dark and gritty. And for people who think it's already way too far, then it's like, okay, they can never win. So they have to draw the line in the sand somewhere and say, okay, for our brand protection, for our family values, we're not going to push our limits past a certain line. At least that's what I can imagine if I was in the boardroom at Lego.
No, I 100% get what you're saying. I 100% get it. It just doesn't quite make sense because wasn't there literally a Carnage bust made? A Carnage from Lego Marvel. His name is literally Carnage for a reason. He's like Venom, but even more violent, even more gruesome, and even more destructive. Don't we literally have Blade minifigure who literally just shreds vampires into pieces. Then we have Punisher, who literally will shoot up anybody. Not anybody. Will literally punish people with guns, things like that. And one other thing I want to say is, isn't drinking Red Bull worse for your body than playing Doom games? That may just be my opinion.
It's relative. That is a personal thing that you're saying. Like, we can't generalize people's personal taste and what is better for your mental health when it comes to video games.
It seems like Lego's doing it because they're completely fine putting a Kick and Red Bull Lego set, but we're drawing the line at rated M games. You see what I'm saying here? I'm not saying drinking Red Bull is bad. I'm saying if you drink caffeine too much, you'll become dependent on it, you'll get headaches, etc. You're right. It is completely personally subjective, and that's why we can keep the Lego set not too creepy, not too gory, and you don't have to buy it if you don't want to. This would open up an avenue for other kinds of things that maybe Lego's omitting, the return of Deadpool or something like that, because I don't think it's the violence that they're worried about, Daniel Lewa, with Deadpool. I think it's the sexual nature of his jokes and character that's been really prominent in the Ryan Reynolds movies, because the first Deadpool that came out was before that time, the first minifigure. And now it's been so, Wolverine stabs him in the crotch 5,000 times. And that's what Lego's going to avoid, that kind of content, like the actual plague. But the violence and the cutting and the swords and the dragons and the guns and the dopeness, I think they could touch. And that's what Doom is all about. It's not about being sexual content, etc.
When you think of Doom, though, it is associated with a completely different and distinct level of gore and violence than a lot of these other things that we've talked about. Yeah, Carnage from Spider-Man does have that aspect, but when you watch Let There Be Carnage, you don't see any of that. And so Lego can make a Carnage bust and be like, oh, it's for the Let There Be Carnage. It's a more cartoony type of violence. Whereas Doom, the whole thing, correct me if I'm wrong, but from what I've watched of you playing it, the whole thing is you are slicing up demons in the most grotesque ways possible, and that is the fun of it, right? And a lot of people find joy in that. I know you find a lot of joy in that, and that's just on you. But I found something interesting where a brand manager at Lego said a few years ago, quote, "We do not make products that promote or encourage violence," which is interesting because they make Star Wars, they make all this. They also they kind of are feeling it out as they go, I think, as well. But Doom, I think, is just still always going to be a step too far for them.
No, I 100% get that, but I can only hope and wish and dream, because you're right. It is about trying to be overtly grotesque as possible, but it still is kind of different than Mortal Kombat, which is just kind of makes me sick a little bit, because you're actually doing it to other people rather than just demons kind of plowing through demons. And I don't get off on the violence. I just think the gameplay is so fun getting in there and getting active. But you're right. I just think it'd be cool to open the door to things like a Resident Evil Lego set. Like, there would be a lot of things that a lot of AFOLs would like, because I hate to say it, but Lego becoming a little AFOL centric. Which I guess we can't really complain about too much being AFOLs, because we get a lot of cool things like the Deku tree, like the sound, the Lego Transformers are just so cool. So we get a lot of cool stuff from that. So it's really interesting, because I see exactly what Daniel A was saying. I could only hope and dream to get cool, dope Lego sets, Gundams, actual guns within Fortnite, like Battle Royale Fortnite sets. And it's a little disappointing when we can't get that. But I guess let us know what your comments, what you think about the topic. Do you have any other arguments, Daniel Lewa?
Since Lego's a plastic brick brand, what they make lasts forever. It will outlast all of us. It's not even digital. So I think there's an extra level of care that has to be taken whenever they are going to make something, put it out into the world, and have it last forever. So I appreciate that. As far as we can tell, they are being cognizant of what they're putting out, not always to everyone's liking. And I think it'll be very interesting to see how heavy are they going to go into the more 18 plus adults leaning things going forward or not. And if they don't lean into some of these things like Doom, or we've seen Halo done by other brands, then those other brands could very easily take over things like Doom. Kind of surprised we haven't seen other kind of brick built model building brands take over that. So competition is very healthy. You don't necessarily have to get Lego Doom to get brick built Doom in the future. Yeah, I know you want minifigure, whatever, but this is a very personal topic for everybody. But that's why we like talking about it, because Methuselah and I have different opinions. You all are going to have different opinions from each other. Let's open the discussion.
Yeah, I forced Daniel Lewa to talk about Doom, because I played Doom the Dark Ages, and this game is just too good. So being a Lego fan, you want that. And he's really going to sit here and tell me that, oh, we can have a literal frozen Chima minifigure with flesh coming out and a Demon Bowl King with cybernetic flesh ripping out with a giant flaming battle axe.
Here's your Doom Lego right here, bro. Just get this and you can be happy, right?
Really giant shoulder cannons and a flaming battle axe. And they're going to sit here and say, we do not promote violence in any way. Come on. The dragon or mech would be way less violent or grotesque than that set. But I get it because then I encourage kids to be like, oh, what is Doom? What is Doom the Dark Ages, Mom? What is Doom Eternal? Can I what's your credit card? And next thing you know,
isn't that what you're doing right now?
I condone, teenagers above, if you have a tolerance for this kind of things, to play this game. If not, it's not for you. Who knows? Lego could encourage little Timmy to be in his room at 2 a.m. slaying demons in the pits of hell, which is actually pretty epic. But hey, they're already doing that with Kick because they're going to be launching Aiden Ross at 3 a.m. because of their new F1 card that they got. Oh, what is this sponsorship logo? It's Kick. And now they're just watching sludge. Anyways, it was a really fun discussion. Let us know your thoughts on it. Sorry in advance, Daniel Lewa. I love Doom. It's one of the only single player games I play.
Yeah, I'm gonna make you sit through a why we should get Dragon Quest in Lego someday as retribution for this.
I'm down for that because I think Dragon Quest would make some cool Lego sets of minifigures. Like, I'm not gonna lie, that would be dope.
Thank you for watching this video, and thank you for our channel members for making this possible. Who are?
I'm Lidme, MC Go, Uncle Norman, Uncle Michael, Oliver J, the Ginger Lender, Cesar, Shui Lee, Grandma Susan, Norman Davis, Dr. Dan PhD, Sir Grez, Richie J Rage, Langster Bills, Mary Kay, and a brand new channel member, Jaborgis. He is a Squirrel Girl main. He has a custom Squirrel Girl minifigure collection, and he's now one of the realest ones that I know. So thank you so much for becoming a channel member. All you channel members, please follow us on Instagram and send me a message so I can add you to the close friends list that I have created, so I can send any sort of little Lego updates that I'm doing, what we're building, etc. And thank you so much for watching, or even just subscribing or liking. I don't know.
If you made it this far in the video, put Impidimp in the comments below and you will be a real one.
Let's hype Doom up.
I am the principal.